The Sovereign Protocol, Escaping the Engineered Maze, a 2026 Manifesto for the Sovereign Mind, Ancient Wisdom and the Neuropsychology of Liberty. Introduction, The Great Reset of the Soul. Welcome. Today, we aren't just reviewing a book, we are performing a spiritual and financial audit. For decades, the world has looked at Who Moved My Cheese as a simple fable about corporate change. But in 2026, we see a darker truth. The maze isn't just a neutral environment, it is an engineered control grid. The cheese is no longer just your money, it is your life force, your time, and your sovereignty. When the system moves the cheese through inflation, automation, or social engineering, it isn't an accident. It is a test of your dependency. The elders of all nations left us a map, from the throne of Solomon to the villages of Africa. The message is the same. The person who relies on another's table is never truly fed. There is an ancient proverb that says, "The ruins of a house begin from the inside." If we are trapped in the maze, it is because we have allowed our internal walls to be built by fear. Today, we bridge the gap between the Proverbs of Solomon, the wisdom of the ancestors, and the reality of 2026. We are putting on our running shoes to find the exit. Section 1. The Neuropsychology of the the Amygdala Hijack. Why did the character stay at an empty station until he nearly starved? In modern neurobiology, we call this the Amygdala Hijack. When our security is taken away, the primitive brain screams, "Danger," triggering a freeze response. Isn't just stubborn, he is biologically terrified. Society utilizes this fear to trap you. The comfort addiction. We have been programmed to believe stability is a right, but Solomon warned us. Slothfulness casts into a deep sleep, and an idle person will suffer hunger. Proverbs 19 verse 15. The identity trap. Says, "It's my cheese." He has fused his soul with his surroundings. The Ashanti people have a proverb, "The river that forgets its source will surely dry up." When you forget that you are the source of your value, and you think the station is the source, you dry up when the station goes empty. The dopamine loop. In 2026, the maze designers keep you hemming through intermittent reinforcement. They give you just enough fake cheese, stimulus, notifications, credit to keep you from leaving. Deep dive. Discuss learned helplessness. Use the proverb, "A man who does not look ahead remains behind." Explain how the maze designers use constant bad news to paralyze the prefrontal cortex. Section 2. The Solomon Remedy and the Ancestral Compass. Let's apply the hidden information of the elders to the characters. We know, on the sniff, discernment, the heart of the prudent gets knowledge. Proverbs 18 verse 15. In Africa, they say, "A bird that flies off the earth and lands on an anthill is still on the ground." A sniff knows that small changes are still part of the same maze. They look for the real horizon. On the Scurry, the ant strategy, Solomon points us to the ant. Proverbs 6 verse 6. The Yoruba people say, "He who runs after good fortune runs away from peace, but he who works hard, good fortune follows him." Scurrying is the remedy. It means building your own stores while others are distracted by the maze's entertainment. On the path of repentance, realized he had to change. The Ethiopian proverb says, "He who conceals his disease cannot be cured." Had to admit the cheese was gone. He had to stop lying to himself. Section 3. The Engineered Maze, Digital Feudalism. In 2026, the maze has been digitized. Digital feudalism. You are being hemmed into platforms you do not own. Your wealth is held in accounts that can be frozen and in currencies designed to lose their purchasing power. The fake cheese strategy. Society provides processed cheese, digital distractions, to keep the masses quiet. The remedy is sovereignty. Solomon didn't just have one storehouse, he had many. The Kenyan proverb says, "One head cannot carry a roof." You need a diversified strategy and a tribe. Financial literacy in 2026 is decentralization. Do not rely on one station for survival. Build your own garden outside the corporate maze. Deep dive. Read Proverbs 22 verse 7. The borrower is slave to the lender. Use the proverb, "If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together." Spend time on how debt and isolation are the electric fences of the modern maze. Section 4. The Ancestral Storehouse, the Psychology of the Granary. In ancient tradition, the granary wasn't just a place for food, it was a symbol of character, foresight, and protection. The psychology of the empty granary. An empty granary was a spiritual warning. The proverb says, "A house with an empty granary is a house with a loud voice but no teeth." In 2026, many of us have loud voices on social media, but our financial granaries are empty. We are dependent on the maze designer. The wisdom of the moving season. The Zulu people say, "The sun never sets without fresh news." The elders understood that the maze is always shifting. If you woke up today and the world was the same as yesterday, it is a miracle, not a rule. The neuro remedy. To move from him to sovereign, you must transition your brain from consumption mode to storage mode. Pay yourself first to build your own storehouse before you pay the maze designer. Section 5. Utilizing the chief of the brain. To build your sovereignty in 2026, you must activate the chief of the brain, the prefrontal cortex. The problem: the maze designers want you stuck in your limbic system, emotions/fear. When you are emotional, you cannot sniff the change. You just cry like him. The remedy: the elders practiced stillness. In the silence, the chief takes control. It asks, if the cheese is gone, where is the trail? Asterisk. The action: every day, disconnect from the digital maze for 1 hour. This is the sovereign hour. Scan the environment. Look for the new cheese in emerging markets, new technologies, and ancient skills. Conclusion: the exit is within. The ultimate secret of the elders is that the maze is an illusion. The walls are made of your fears. The character Ha realized that the new cheese was better because he had become a maze runner. In West Africa, they say, the sun does not forget a village just because it is small. Your individual effort to find your own cheese matters. The new cheese of 2026 is freedom. It is the ability to walk through the world without being controlled by the fear of an empty station. Follow the wisdom of Solomon. Listen to the proverbs of the ancestors. Train your brain to ignore the dopamine of the empty station. Put on your running shoes. As the proverb says, tomorrow belongs to the people who prepare for it today. Stop hemming. Start scurrying. Free the mind. Build the granary. Escape the maze.